Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the two massive forces that really document and define the American experience. You've got the serious, truth-seeking newspapers on one hand, and then you've got the irreverent, truth-telling comedy on the other. It's really the headline and the punchline of the nation's story.
All right, so here's how we're going to break it down. First, what even is America content? Then, we'll look at the big players in journalism and comedy, each on their own. And finally, we'll bring it all together to see how these two worlds really collide and, shape our reality.
Okay, first up, what do we even mean by America content? Well, think of it as the entire universe of media a country creates to understand itself. It's like the country's official record and its unofficial commentary, all mashed up and happening at the same time. So that brings up a really interesting question, right? How does a nation actually document its own reality and also process it all? I mean, on one side, you've got the hard facts, the investigations, and on the other, you've got the satire, the punchlines. So let's dig into how these two forces actually play off each other.
All right, let's get into our first pillar, the press. Before social media even existed, these were the original influencers, the real heavyweights. We're talking about the ink-stained warriors who've been shaping the official record of America for centuries.
The evolution of the American press it's really the story of American information itself. It all starts with these local printers like Benjamin Franklin, who was basically creating the first viral content. From there, it just scales up to these incredibly powerful national institutions. And now we're in this wild era where a tech titan like Jeff Bezos is running one of the most important legacy papers out there.
And you really can't overstate the influence of these institutions. I mean, think about it. When just one newspaper wins more than 130 Pulitzer Prizes, well, it's not just reporting the news anymore, is it? It's literally setting the agenda for the entire national conversation. It's creating a historical record that's going to last for generations.
This motto, it is so much more than just a tagline. For over 100 years, this phrase has been a promise of journalistic integrity. It's this commitment to separating fact from fiction way, way before fake news was even a term in our vocabulary. It was the standard.
And then you have the other end of the spectrum. This headline is just legendary. It's pure pulp, designed to do one thing: shock you and sell papers. It's the perfect reminder that the newspaper world isn't all about prestigious, serious reporting. Nope. It's also a business, and that business is built on grabbing your attention by any means necessary.
Okay, so now let's flip the coin. If newspapers are the nation's official record, then comedy is its unofficial commentary. It's that raw, rebellious, and totally relatable release valve for all the chaos going on. At its heart, American comedy is kind of like a form of cultural therapy, right? It takes all the heavy, super complicated, and let's be honest, often infuriating stuff we see in the news, and it just transforms it into something we can laugh at, something we can process and finally understand on a totally human level. So modern American comedy, it really had a big bang moment. And that moment was Richard Pryor. This album wasn't just a bunch of jokes. No way. It was this raw, completely unfiltered commentary on society. It proved, once and for all, that stand-up could be every bit as powerful and as revealing as any investigative report. And as comedy's influence just kept growing, so did its stage. I mean, it literally exploded from these little, intimate, smoky clubs in the 70s right onto network television with shows like Saturday Night Live. From there, it took over the box office. And today, it's reaching a global audience directly through streaming specials. And what's key here is that each new stage didn't just change the size of the audience, it changed the very nature of the comedy itself. Okay, so this brings us to a really crucial point. These two worlds, journalism and comedy, they don't exist in separate bubbles. Not at all. They're locked in this symbiotic relationship. The serious, fact-based reporting from the news, that becomes the raw material for all the satire that comes next.
And this really captures that dynamic perfectly. Look at the two sides. On one, you have journalism holding power accountable, documenting the facts. And on the other, you've got comedy, satirizing that exact same power, turning those facts into cultural memes and touchstones. It's really simple when you think about it. One breaks the news, and the other delivers the punchline.
So let's bring this all home. Why does any of this matter? Well, it's because understanding this relationship, it's absolutely key to getting the full picture of the American cultural conversation.
Okay, so the big takeaway here is this. You absolutely need both to get the whole story. The newspaper gives you the what, right? But comedy often gives you the how it feels. Just think about it. How the Watergate scandal inspired decades of political satire. Or how a presidential debate that happens one night becomes an SNL cold open the very next day. They are total package deal.
And that's really the question we want to leave you with. In this age of just endless content, where the lines between information and entertainment are getting blurrier every single day, it's worth asking yourself, which one shapes your reality more? Is it the headline or is it the punchline?